Today we're at this. This is a cooling tower, and we're actually on the site of a nuclear power plant that was never created. As you'll see in a minute, this is actually not abandoned. This is not like an abandoned video. This is a place where we actually called and got a tour to go inside this place. We're gonna be inside this cooling tower very soon, and probably a nuclear reactor around here as well. Let's get started. Check this out. They keep a ton of water in this place. The reason they keep this in here, this water is used as coolant for other things, and soon it's gonna be used for coolant or some kind of, I don't know exactly the process, but the largest marijuana growing factory is gonna be here, and they're gonna use this water for it. As you can see, it's kind of a foggy day. So the top of the tower, it just looks like it's lost in the fog up there, or in the clouds.
That's for the camera communications and the fiber optics we have going up there.
Ooh.
So this thing really is secured with cameras and stuff?
Yeah, I had to kill the alarms before I came in here.
Oh!
This one's a silent alarm, which is a good one because people that try to break in, they don't really know they're fucked yet. You know?
Oh yeah.
Whoa! Look at all the water.
How you gonna do with heights, Jax?
Well, actually, it's a little nerve-wracking right here. So, actually,
whoa!
we're not going way up there.
This is dope.
Advance for not taking me up there.
Look at this, dude. Yo, the echo. Echo. So, wait, what movie was shot here?
Transformers 4 and 5 was shot at SATSUP, and I think Transformers 5 was shot June of last year. And this scene that was in the movie is right here.
And you were in it?
I actually got to play that part. It was a few seconds in the movie.
What part were you?
Everyone's busting my balls about it, you know.
What was your role?
I just had to take the chains off this Decepticon, the Berserker. I think
that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Transformers 5. So this cooling tower, like the one I went to in Chernobyl, is meant to cool down the nuclear reactors, which did not get built. They had a $25 billion budget for these cooling towers and the nuclear reactor, but after the whole 3 Mile incident and back in New England, the town and basically the state decided they did not want, I hear my echo. They decided they did not want nuclear power plants where they are. So this building right here, this cooling tower, got 75% built, and then it stopped. Right now I'm directly in the center, and you can hear my echo like crazy. Subscribe! Whoa.
Oh my gosh! So this is maybe what drugs are like. So stay off drugs, everybody. You can go ahead and say it.
Let me do a silent one. You can make like a song in here.
Brings the water.
So whoa.
There. That's where that warm water is pumped up through 12-foot diameter tunnels that come from the condenser pits. Wow. That warm water pumps up through these channels and out through the white piping, and it sprays down, and that heated water is rising and evaporating. As steam rises, it's evaporating and dropping down in droplets, hitting the black packing material. It's about 4 foot thick, and it percolates through there and rains down into the pond. That pond water goes back and just recirculates warm water to cold water all day long.
That's crazy.
But yeah, that's how the water actually gets in here.
This is like scary because of how far of a drop it is.
Yeah.
Like standing on the edge right here.
There's like a running joke around here about the security.
This is like a military underground base.
There's another 5 foot thick concrete wall.
And I'm guessing this would have been a bunch of valves and
This looks like a safe.
equipment
It's like a bank vault right there.
Main entrance inside of the reactor.
Really?
Yeah, so you can see it's been cut out.
Yeah.
So there was another manway door right here that you would have entered. You would have been, you know, put through the system before you could enter inside of the reactor, but it's been cut away and scrapped. And that's the only physical door that's left. Yeah. We're gonna go through the equipment hatch.
Sweet. Dun, dun, dun.
So it's the reactor is separated from the reactor auxiliary building by a 3-foot thick reinforced concrete wall. It's about a 4-foot space gap annulus and a 2-inch thick steel containment vessel. That's what separates the outside world from the actual reactor core or the reactor building itself.
Okay.
Jeez.
Holy crap.
And we're gonna go upstairs to the operating deck.
Oh, cool.
Look at all this. Whoa.
So we're on the operating deck, what would have been the operating deck of the reactor itself. The reactor core was in there, the reactor pool. Steam generators on each side. The tall building there was the pressurizer. This is the PWR, which is the pressurizer reactor. The pressurizer kept the system about 2100 psi, I believe. And this was all in here. It was all scrapped in the early 2000s. And this is what we have remaining.
Cool.
Kind of crazy that we're walking around inside this like nuclear generator. Like we're literally inside the nuclear, like this is not stuff people normally get to see.
20 amps, that's enough for your hairdryer.
Ooh. Like all this stuff no one would ever normally see.
Dude, you know what this is? This is like honey right from the beehive. This is like energy right from the source here, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
This is like fresh energy.
That's that sweet stuff.
Yeah.
It is like a bank vault. Oh,
that thing's so heavy.
Yeah, it's got some serious grit to it. Yeah, so you went through this.
Oh my god.
You would have had some type of monitor check probably in here to check your rad levels or whatever. Because I think people had limited time in and out of here.
Oh,
they probably had 30 minutes in here or an hour or whatever.
Okay, because of the radiation?
Yeah, depending on your dose limits or what your dose limits were. We'll walk you through where the condensers were so you can kind of get an idea where the water that was condensing from the turbines would have met the 12-foot diameter piping that went back to the cooling tower. Imagine this one large square area here is one condenser, and that's on top of that condenser was one turbine. So there's a high pressure turbine and 3 low pressure turbines, and each low pressure turbine had a condenser. And that steam that's going through that turbine is condensing from steam back into water through this condenser. And this has about 188,000 1-inch tubes inside of it. And through inside of the tube is where your hot water is going. On the outside of that tube is where the cold water from the cooling tower is coming back to cool that. And it's going through that condenser and then back out as warm water going back to the cooling tower. So it's coming in, grabbing that warm water, and going back to the cooling tower. And that's your full circle.
That right there is the reactor that we were just in. We were almost at the top pretty much. And so that's the reactor and that's the cooling tower right there.
So nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, man.
No problem.
Appreciate it. Back where we started, we have finished this little tour. It has been a lot of fun. This is like an abandoned, not abandoned kind of place. If you guys do come here, I highly recommend you call ahead because there are silent alarms. And he was saying 25 people have been arrested just in the past couple months here. So I highly recommend if you do come here, ask this guy. He'll take you in. He's really cool. But that is it for today here in Washington. I will see you guys tomorrow. Check it out. No exploring crew access.
Oh. We're here.